So where last left off, party had a visit from the Nosferatu.
After we got stuck in a weird-ass time loop trying to jump at him.
I remember the time loop. That was fun.
You guys got inside, you were trying to question Adam. Adam time looped and did some timey-wimey crazy stuff. And then you went downstairs for dinner to find out that you were either going to be the main course or you were going to strike a deal with a creature of the night, a creature of undeath, a Nosferatu.
Lizzie made a deal with the Nosferatu after telling an eldritch being who wanted to kill Gabriella to get over it and get good, bro. And I didn't die.
I'm still in the loop. I remember being trapped in the loop. I don't know if I ever got out.
You all got out because you were helping Freddy with the, assessment of the artifacts while Finley and I were downstairs chatting it up with the vampires, and that's when we all found out about what Gwen's up to, and my character's like, yeah, there's a lot I didn't know about my boss, but this actually explains so much. And then Finley tried to light them on fire, and I talked them down from eating him entirely. And I gave them the thing that they wanted.
Yes, they did take the thing that they wanted. A day has passed since this has happened. That's where we're going to pick up. You haven't heard hair nor hide of your Nosferatu friend?
Ally?
Friends?
Friend is subjective.
Friend is subjective.
Lizzie likes the word friend. Lizzie likes that word. It's complicated, but they're good friends to have. I mean, we're still alive.
It's complex, but we carry on. So, there is a plot afoot. You have a lot of very valuable artifacts. There are at least 4 sides that seem to know about these artifacts being exactly here.
At least. Because we've got the 2 cults, the Nazis, and some vampires.
Yes. Blackwell sits you down for dinner, or for breakfast the next morning. And as he serves you up eggs, bacon, and some marmalade on toast, he looks each one of you in the eye and... So, should we talk about last night?
Probably a good idea. What do you remember? I don't know if you were aware of anything going on.
I remember the Nosferatu here. The vampires. I didn't know they were here until they made themselves known, but they were here.
Apparently they're family friends. I'm learning all sorts of interesting things about my relatives this week. God, how long has it been? It feels like months.
Well, we need to figure out what to do with Adam. What had you guys decided to do with Adam? I believe last time you had captured him, right?
I think so.
We certainly tried to. Didn't he, disappear after that last loop, but then, we heard him downstairs, but he wasn't actually downstairs?
Thought he got out with his magic wand.
This is what happens when we go way too many months without a session, apparently.
Yeah, he's gone. He's vanished.
I'm going to attempt to track him down, and I have an idea of what we need to do with these items. We need to get them out of here. But again, that's going to take me some time. I'm going to go away for a couple of days. I think it'll be safe here until I get back, but just be wary of other factions at play. We know Greenwheel is on this, we know the Germans are, the Soviets. We know that the vampires have some form of interest in this.
At least they were nice enough to be straightforward about asking. I mean, it was a little unsettling, yes. And they kept us safe for a night. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to do the same while you're gone.
The sooner we get all of these artifacts out of the limelight of all these factions, the better. And the sooner we can manage this distressing situation, the sooner I can take a well-deserved break. If that even exists anymore.
Perhaps on the holiest of holy grounds, that could be possibly the safest place for you. I don't remember, but I feel like something wants to kill you.
In general?
I believe there's a lot of things.
You specifically, Gabriella.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've made an enemy of some of those strange supernatural things. And, well, if it means I'll have to live in a church, no offense, Father, but that sounds awful. I really hope we can figure out a different option.
Well, by the time this week is over, I'm sure that you will find that the accommodations of at least my church aren't the way you might think they are. But enough on that. Eat up. I'll be gone in a few minutes.
Is there a place outside of the house where we could potentially move some of these? Some a little less obvious? Until we can find a permanent hiding place?
I have a few wards up around this house. They should keep everything within safe, but if we move them, we run the risk of other people finding out about them, other viewers. And I do not want to make an enemy of our own government.
I think hearing Gabriella's comment about, not living in a church, Freddy's just looking through a book, just sipping some concoction, hair of the dog kind of style. It could be like, Mademoiselle Maupin, like, she broke into a church, but that was to, do some naughty things. One of her lovers got sent there, and, well, she decided to help a sister out.
Huh.
Just because you're living on holy ground doesn't mean you have to live a cloistered lifestyle.
I appreciate you all looking out for me in my time of potential need.
At this, Blackwell goes ahead and returns out of he leaves the dining hall and goes into the main hall, and you hear him upstairs, just getting some stuff together. You hear the door open and then a motor running.
So how are you feeling, Finley?
Okay, with that one, that's when Finley fully wakes up, and yes, Finley smells like a brewery, because he's just been, drink the trauma away!
Lizzie has absolutely hidden all of the alcohol, and just after a certain point, you've just been drinking water and, tea. We need you sober.
Finley he smacks his face, goes, was ist das? Oh yes, the vampire. Oh yeah, we made a set of very dumb, I made a set of very dumb decisions. Phew.
You're welcome, by the way, for making sure you didn't get eaten.
Oh, Fräulein, you have my, I owe you a huge debt, Fräulein. Now, as I was listening in about the plan, I may look like I was just in the sleepy land, but no. Finley was in planning mode. Now, here's the thing. The church actually might be the best possible route for us to take, because in the world of the paranormal, is that not classified as hallowed ground?
Oh, I agree. I trust Blackwell to keep these safe. I'm just worried about the time between now and when we can take them there. Who knows what else my brother's extended an invitation to this house.
Not for nothing, but Nazis are not supernatural beings. They can walk into churches. So that still does limit. It's still useful, but it does cause us issues nonetheless.
this is why I was thinking, because yes, we do need the protection from the paranormal, but we also need the protection from the Nazis. Well, how about we pursue to the rebels, because there are actual mini factions located in France. Hey, fun historical fact coming your way, everyone. I have actually heard about Mercuri's son-in-law. He is actually actively sabotaging the Nazis in their atomic research, and he is actually leading escape for refugees out of the area to escape to the Nazis. I think we should pursue the western portion of France near Paris to ask the Curies if they could potentially help us.
After we've dealt with the artifacts, because that's going to be quite the trip.
Lest we recall our last train ride.
At this point, can I get you all to roll spot hit?
Oh boy.
Because we're all just like, oh no.
Does anyone
Hey.
have anything that they can carry water with?
In general, there's probably some jars in the
We've
kitchen or something.
absolutely got flasks of some kind.
Everybody who got a hard success. As you're looking out the window, you realize that the crows are gathering. There's 2 in a tree, and a third one joins them. Across the street, you see a parked car with its windows up, but inside you can kind of make out the silhouette of 2 people.
Lizzie's just enjoying her breakfast and happy that maybe her boss is a little less pissed off at her now.
2 people, lots of crows.
Everyone, I think we should go out the back door. Quietly.
Do we have all of the artifacts collected? Are we ready to transport them?
Finley would like to take a chair and quietly position it under the knob of the door.
As Blackwell had said, he's looking into finding a place for these artifacts. It might be a couple of days, and then the location that you're at is warded.
So we're just trapped. Not a fun experience.
We can at least have time to prepare, fortify ourselves in case anything not supernatural tries to come in.
I never was a big history girl, so sieges aren't my forte. Anyone here know how to deal with a siege?
Well, and keep in mind, Freddy's just flipping through the book, not realizing what's happening. You normally want, at least about 2 to 3 years worth of supplies, water that isn't going to be, where they can huck bodies in and then cause you all to kind of get dysentery and other various diseases. Pointy bits on your ramparts, that way you can, throw them at people, and lots of hot oil to kind of burn them alive.
Right. We can check the cellar for food. We can make sure our water is... Where do we get our water for this house? That's a good question.
Lizzie would know. Brianna doesn't.
I was gonna say, you lived here. Where's the water?
There's a pump out back.
Okay. And the pump is within the ward?
Yeah. As you guys are discussing this, the car does drive off.
Outside of the hot oil, I think we're fine to camp out, so to speak. But I guess hot oil can be arranged if we want to prepare it. That seems like a lot of time spent at the...
Also, wouldn't that just burn the house?
Right. I mean, if you pour hot oil on a person, it won't burn the house. It'll burn the person. I assume. I've never really tried.
Are Robert and Gabriel still here?
They're still here.
I thought they left.
No, they did leave.
They were sitting at the table. I remember that they were sitting at the table, but I feel like first order of business is Lizzie wants them to make sure those 2 get out of here as fast as possible. They need to leave and disappear.
We could have them leave with Father Blackwell then.
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, they've evacuated the premises.
So that way, if they already have, we can just cut this part out, and if they haven't, they live with Father Blackwell.
Do I have a way to get in touch with Gwen at all? Or
No.
Like, any way to... Yeah, no, I didn't think so. Or any contacts of hers.
No.
Is there any sage around the house?
Did Gabriel leave his shotgun?
You could go out and buy that. There is a shotgun.
Finley would like to go out on a little excursion to go get some various herbs that his Oma told him to do for old folk magic blessings, and stock up on salt.
Does anybody want to go with Finley?
We should buddy system.
I'll go.
Okay.
Is there a church in town?
There are many churches in town.
Finley would also like to get a bunch of holy water.
Okay.
And I think while the two of you run those errands, I imagine, like, maybe Lizzie and Gabrielle are working on, like, packing up food, clothing, money, making sure, like, when we run, we're, like, packed up and ready to go and have enough to support ourselves.
We have some go bags, yeah. And we can watch the dogs.
Yes.
Everyone, may I borrow all the ammunition you have? Because I would like to see if we could have the priest perform a blessing on the ammunition. Because, maybe having a holy blessing on our weapons could potentially help us against if they have any form of, like, evil wackiness on them.
If you can find a priest who's very cool with bullets, by all means.
I'm going to do my best in negotiation.
As he goes to where she knows Robert and Gabriel keep all the spare ammo and stuff, and just, like, grabs all of it, and is just like, here, and then, like, takes the box back, just in case.
Alrighty. So with all the ammunition in a bag, you and Finley are able to set off and go shopping.
So before we go spend money, the first place Finley is going to stop by is, of course, one of the churches.
Okay. You walk in and... yes. What can I do for you today?
Hello, Father. Now, I am going to be escorting some people across the country, and now they are a superstitious bunch, and believe it or not, they believe in the existence of, like, monsters like werewolves and the vampire and such, and they wanted me to see if it would be possible to see if we could have a holy blessing performed on our wares, on our arms, so they could feel a little protected against their superstition.
I don't see why not.
And Father, I was also wondering if I, of course, donate to your church, would it be possible to get a little holy water?
He takes a moment and thinks about it. Yes, I believe I have some in the Blackwell in the back. He kind of looks at you.
That is not lost on Finley, but you know what? I'm going with this.
Just
Finley goes to shake the priest's hand.
Cough.
Kafka? Franz?
Don't make a deal with the Feyboyo!
It's so cool. Who doesn't want to eat food that does not belong to you in a realm that is not your own?
Can I introduce you to a TTRPG known as Changeling the Lost?
I've been hearing about that. I've been wanting to play it for months. I think it's neat.
I know what you're going for, but you know what? Finley has no reason to distrust this priest. He's being nice and... Sure, yeah. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
Alright. The priest takes your ammunition and takes your donation. And you see him quickly walk into the back. And then a couple minutes passes. An hour passes, and you're both kind of sitting there like, where the fuck did this guy go?
Oh, God damn it.
And then a couple minutes later, he comes back out with all of your ammunition and a couple of gallons of water.
Ah, thank you, Father.
No worries. Now, if I was you, I'd stick to the light. There are shadows gathering.
Thank you for the words of wisdom, Father, that doesn't fall on deaf ears. We will take that to heart.
And if you see the father again, let him know he owes me a couple of sermons.
I've always been a fan of the story of, like, Cain and Abel. You should have him do that one. You made a VTM reference earlier. I am going to take advantage of it.
Also, you've gone very Irish for someone who's been more cocky in the back.
Hang on, there we go. Yoda, 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 do a sermon on Cain and Abel, there we go.
Go out there and raise some lumps, boy.
I think in the next one, I'm gonna say we're all American.
Ha! I thought ahead. I was American the whole time.
We'll just all be American. All the accents can go just jump off a mountain of madness. That's why people listen to us. Bad accents, right?
I thought it was because of the dog.
And the spooky vibes.
It's definitely because of Bosco.
And so while this weird conversation is going on, Lizzie and Gabrielle have just been packing, and we just see Bosco and Bella playing around, like, in the yard and in the house, and it's delightful. We spend a good chunk of one of those hours just sitting watching the dogs.
That is precious.
It's revivifying watching the dogs playing around. You feel the cool breeze. You feel kind of the humidity and the fog kind of rolling through the town. It feels nice and cozy. And in this moment, go ahead and roll me sanity.
Oh no. Oh no.
All of us?
No, I think it's just Lizzie and I.
Lizzie, you regain 3 sanity.
Yay.
Gabrielle, you can't shake how terrible things have gotten. It just feels like there's people missing from your life that you can't even hardly remember some days. This also does give you an opportunity to use your psychology to maybe heal others their sanity loss.
But who will heal mine?
I can certainly try, but it's not gonna go well. Psychology is not my strong suit. Also, I think I'm still the sanest person in the group.
No, yeah, you'll be okay. I don't think there's anything I can do for you right now. I will say as I'm packing, I kind of take a moment and survey the house a little bit. What was it like growing up here before all of this became horrible?
It was nice. Adam and I didn't exactly get along, but then again, most siblings don't. It was much more normal level of sibling rivalry, though. It's gotten a little out of hand recently. I have lots of good memories here. Running through the halls, playing games, chasing Robert down the halls, him chasing me down the halls, just playing in the yard. Lots of playing with this one. I pet Bella's head as she just runs up and like puts her feet up, like jumps up with her feet on my knees. So I just like give her a head pet and then she goes back to playing with Bosco.
That sounds nice. I grew up on a farm, so nothing like this. I did work fairly hard and lived in cities for a bit. And I don't really let much of my southern accent come out, but it exists somewhere buried underneath. God, that feels like lifetimes ago.
Growing up with this much money's not all it's cracked up to be. The expectations, not actually having people who will want to be friends with you for yourself, the pressure. not having my parents actually be there.
I suppose. Can't say I can ever really understand it. But I think everyone probably thinks they had a bad childhood.
It wasn't bad, but there were things that could have been better.
At this, both of you roll me psychology rolls.
Oh,
Yay!
wow!
Yay! A statistically unlikely success! Yay!
Both of you roll d10s.
4.
5.
Alright. Gabriella, you regain 5 sanity.
Oh, we're so back.
Lizzie, you regain 4 sanity.
Hey, I'm almost back full. What I need more of is luck.
When all this is said and done, I don't know. I'm not even sure what my future looks like anymore. I used to have a practice and gambling debts and other things that weren't those two things. I still have Bosco.
There's plenty of opportunities. It's not as hard as most people think to become someone else. It's the sticking with who you want to become that's the tricky bit.
I think I liked Father Blackwell's stories more when they were on my couch and not real.
Seriously, though. And Mom thought he would be a good influence on me. And he's the one that introduced me to Gwen,
Oh.
I think. At least she said... I don't know exactly. Apparently... she's Guinevere from the stories.
Sure. That might as well also be true.
Yeah, my old boss is a vampire. I don't know how to feel about that, but the fact that I'm still alive is a pretty nice miracle, I have to say.
I mean, I can only hope that it's not so that we can be used by some other phenomenal cosmic power. But it's good that you're alive. Decent with a handgun, at the very least.
Then, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve.
We'll switch back to the shoppers. What are you guys doing?
Okay, Finley's been on the hunt for sage, holly, salt, specifically rock salt.
Like the Finley's just remembering all of Grandpa's, like, here's your go bag for killing monsters.
And he's specifically looking for sheets of cloth so he can make poppets.
Okay.
Protection poppets.
Like those
Roll me
little
occult.
dolls. Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Can I also roll a call
Omar.
if he tells me what he's looking for?
Does Finley tell?
I have a 60, that's why I'm asking if he tells me or not.
Oh yeah, Finley is actually relaying all the information because he's like, I don't know if I'm looking for the right stuff. Please help.
The 5 in occult does very much fit Finley's character.
Because now he's really starting to have to really believe this, and it's like, I should have listened to Oma more.
Standard protection herbs. I got you. You're gonna want to look for, like, not these kinds of things, and she'll point to a kind of, like, tchotchke tourist place, but you're gonna want to go down these kind of, like, back alleys. That's where the real stuff is.
Finley is actively just taking notes, going, you know, you are very, very smart. If you ever want a job, he hands her a business card. I will happily pay you for your services. I am a private investigator.
I mean, if we survive, my shop kind of got fucked, so...
Gotcha.
If we survive, you do need a new line of work.
Don't we all?
Nah, Lizzie's fine.
I'm not. I had a practice that's probably like a smoking crater now.
And then last but not least, really, really, really strong ethanol. If anything, I mean, alcohol, the closer to ethanol if possible. This is not for drinking. This is for Molotovs.
Ooh.
Actually, kerosene would work better, actually, if we can find kerosene.
Alright, you try a couple different stores that you know you could find it. You find a general store kind of more like a local co-op. Has all the goods that you need inside of it.
Ah, wunderbar, wunderbar.
What's your credit rating?
It's 18.
Roll credit rating.
I love that this game has a stat that is money.
That is such a hard fail, it hurts.
Oof. I wish we had remembered that credit rating is relevant to shopping, because I have a 40.
Your eyes are bigger than your wallet, and your wallet just went to a priest. And when you talk to the shop owner, he tells you, I wish I could. It sounds like you're doing something impressive, but you just don't have the funds. And by the looks of you, I'm afraid this check is going to bounce.
Could I, with my credit rating of 30, help?
Go ahead and roll it.
You should have taken me. My credit rating is 100, apparently.
You, on the other hand, you didn't just spend a whole bunch of money at a church.
Sorry about that. He was holding it for me. Here, we'll slide the money over.
There you go. Do you have a car, or how are you gonna carry all this?
How much did you get, sir? Is it like enough to fit one of those like wooden milk crates?
Oh, Finley was going to happily carry it. I was hoping it wasn't going to be that much, but yeah, a wooden milk crate worth. Yeah.
Alright, if you want to carry it.
Oh, of course.
They gather everything, they get it in a milk crate for you, and then hand it off. Finley, roll strength.
Wow. Yeah, this one I at least have some. Yay.
Yeah, it's an easy walk back. As you're going, someone bumps into you. Roll dexterity.
Ouch.
All of it kind of tumbles out onto the ground, and the person who bumped into you helps you pick it up. Oh, my apologies. I hope I hope none of that was breakable.
I really hate how you had to end the sentence. Finley's just.
But if we stop using accents, how will we have delightful moments of German no followed by regular talking? I am not a Nazi spy.
Okay, so first things first, Finley is going to inspect. Did anything break?
No, nothing is broken. I'm cruel, not that cruel.
Okay, so of course Finley is very embarrassed and is just. Oh, my apologies. I didn't. It's no. You didn't break anything. And who's Finley looking at?
You look up, and the sky has dark, circular shades, and is smiling widely at you as he hands you a bag of something that dropped out. Looks like salt.
Yes. Thank you. Do I know you by chance?
No, I think not. But hopefully we are neighbors.
As everyone's just squinting suspiciously at John.
Well, Finley is going to. Of course, we are in the middle of town. Finley is not going to be causing a scene because that is disrespectful to these innocent villagers. He's just going to do a polite little nod. Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that because we are happily preparing what you could say is a little shindig tonight for our neighbors. So, if we see you, I'll make sure I have something very special for you.
He looks at you quizzically and then, well, whatever you say.
Have a good day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You too.
Spy! It's a spy! We found the impostor!
He's having a real normal one, he is.
Just all in Finley's head, all he's just thinking is, I'm throwing that man through a fucking wall.
Why did you phrase it like that? It sounded like you were inviting him into my house.
No! Well,
Now he has an invitation. Now the wards don't work. Or do they?
To quote Gomez Adams, impostore.
Oh no, you ain't catching Finley on this. That's what he worded very specifically. There was no specific invitation.
Anyways. The man in gray with a fedora and those big circular glasses walks off. And you two are left alone, walking back to the Amesley second manor.
Is there a gate into the manor?
Yes.
Finley lays a line of salt.
Okay, you lay the line of salt.
He takes some of the sage and other herbs, crushes them into his hand, and he also sprinkles them along the salt as well, and then keeps walking.
Okay. Roll a call.
Oh, I should have asked Liz this. Why have I not learned from my mistake?
Would you like to ask now before you make the roll?
Please.
I'm sorry. I was about to go in, get myself a little nippy nip. Go back to me book.
Not the sorrows.
I'm sorry to keep bothering you.
Oh, you putting down? Let me take a look. See you did it right, and I will also roll a call.
Roll mine, because we all know how bad this is gonna go.
Oh. Both failed.
Rude. I'll spend the 12 luck to make it a success. Because I still have 93 luck. So.
You put it all down, and as you do, you realize, oh wait, hold on, I need to... Yes, that's right there. And you correct a few things that went down wrong, and Finley being a little bit less skilled at this a lot less skilled at this than you, is uneasy about doing this, and his foot kind of goes through a line of salt, which you end up correcting, using up more of the salt than some of the herbs, and everything comes together. Or at least you believe it does.
I think we have a good base to protect us against the start of, if anything supernatural starts coming this way. Now we just need to prepare for any inevitable physical visitors. How are you with setting up traps?
It depends on what that is in the system.
maybe mechanical repair?
Sleight of hand, maybe?
Sleight of hand? Locksmithing? But in reverse?
I actually have a really good score in locksmith.
What are you trying to do?
Set up little
Traps.
traps, build traps around the estate.
Cthulhu said we're not allowed to do Home Alone traps. It's too good.
I can actually tell you right now what the basic idea of what some of them would have been. Nothing too elaborate, just maybe something to tell us if anyone's walking in the vicinity. So literally like some string or rope attached to a bell, so we can see if we can hear anyone coming.
Oh, you know what that usually is? That would be some sort of craft. What I will allow you to do instead is we'll do a combination of education and dexterity to put it all together. What you know allows you to build it. Does that sound fair?
That sounds fair to me. So education and dexterity. So if I roll my education right now, I get a hard success. And for dexterity, of course.
So the first trap that you try to make doesn't go well. You're sitting in the front of the manor, just putting something together, and you know it in your mind, but it's not coming together. You think that if maybe if you went to the library, maybe there might be a book on how you could per se level up in this skill.
To the library.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I was gonna say, I feel like Lizzie's been spending some time in the library, like going through her dad's study, just looking for anything she doesn't want to leave behind in the house. anything from her parents. Both for nostalgia reasons and in case they know something and had it written down somewhere.
Wouldn't you know, they have one edition of Traps magazine.
Wait, that's the one that Freddy from the cartoon, the Scooby-Doo cartoon reads.
I had the mental image of Lizzie's looking around, Finley walks in, and she just holds out the magazine, doesn't even look up at him, like almost smacks him in the face with it, because she saw you out the window. Please read this.
You're the best. Thank you.
Go ahead and roll education one more time.
What a delightfully specific periodical.
Another hard success.
Okay, so you now have the craft traps skill as you read this.
I love it.
I'll say you're starting with a 24 in it.
All right, let me just edit that in real quick.
Well, adding it in worked.
Not even Fred Jones of Scooby-Doo fame can save you now.
Hold on, wait. Let me do some math real quick.
How much luck can you pump into these traps?
I will spin the 41 because I have 73 luck.
You have 73 luck? Gosh,
Yep.
Some people have all the luck.
I have 32.
Yeah, I'm still at
I have
81.
been saving it.
Wait, I have 65 luck, man. I've been avoiding using it because of all those times where I was like, I really need it, and I didn't have it last season.
I don't think I started out with a lot, so...
But yeah, I will spend the 41 to make that a success.
All right, so it is not going well, and then you realize, oh wait, I've been reading this upside down, and the schematic starts to make way more sense when you're not thinking it's in like some form of like Japanese or something.
Finley's face is just red the entire time.
Man, I hope nobody saw that.
We just see Lizzie face palming in the window.
Over the garden wall, you see someone peeking over with a fur hat with a hammer and sickle on it.
Think you could be a little more subtle with that, John?
Unless it's just a little guy who happens to have that hat.
And then when you blink, he's gone. All you know is you've been witnessed.
He just looks and goes, "Oh, shut up. This isn't so good."
So what type of trap did you make?
Yes, okay, fine. Oh, God dang it, I hate you, furry hat man. So this trap specifically was incorporated into the porch. The way it was supposed to work is, so Finley had taken the flour from in the house, and he had whipped it up to a certain viscosity to where it now had it didn't really have a set type of substance. It was as if it was still a water and a solid at the same time. And he had laid that in a certain portion of the porch to when they stepped and hit the twine, they would fall face first into it.
Okay.
Finley was proud of that trap, and now it's just waste.
Meanwhile, I think Lizzie's just been walking around and putting bells and jingly things at the base or the top of the windowsill, anything so if they open the window there will be jingling. It's a lot less fancy traps, but very effective.
By the time that you finished it is dark out. So during this time where your friend is creating these traps, what are the rest of you doing?
I don't really have much going on. I mean, there's no car in the house, right? There's not a separate carriage house?
No.
Okay.
The car was taken by Blackwell.
Makes sense. Man, I never get to use the drive skill ever since I got into that car accident in episode 3, season 2, or whatever that specifically was. Granted, we were being chased by literally every possible monster, so I think I did a great job, all things considered. I don't have much I can do. I'm good at talking, and there's not much talking to be done.
Well, you do have another person who might need mental assistance.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose I can rotate around. I suppose to give people less pressure, I will take a bunch of reading material and go into one of the guest rooms, and before I do, I'll hang up a little sign that says the doctor is in case anyone wants to stop in and receive some psychological support. But otherwise, I'm just gonna do some research.
I think in the room you set up, you see Freddy, because this was my idea, just kind of gathering a box of the artifacts that she knew were not real, and kind of putting them in a couple boxes and muttering, "Roy, okay, we put these all together, we put a truck in the obvious spot, pretty sure they're dumb enough that some of them are going to be drawn away with it."
Sounds like a good idea.
Oh shit, Hoy!
Hi. You're not going to jump like that if we're attacked, are we? I feel...
Just very awkwardly puts down the very poorly done carving of Anubis. Well, no, I'm fine.
Right. Fine is what we all are now. Very normal. Did you need to talk about anything? Anything weighing on you? Normally I would have us, talk about what your dreams might be saying, but I think we can more realistically look to what happens if we survive and how we want to live our lives.
Honestly, I ain't got much planned, Doc, other than making it through tonight, and after that, though she does hold up Finley's card, apparently the other crazy fucker offered me a job. Apparently I'm smart.
Ah. A lot of apparentlys here. You're allowed to think that you have skills beyond what's readily visible.
I mean, I'm clever. There's a difference between smart and clever. Smart doesn't do what clever normally does.
Alright, well, definitions aside, are you going to take it?
I mean, my fucking shop burned down, so I'm kind of out of a job.
My practice is probably a crater or inhabited by vampires, whichever one happened first.
We blew up your apartment. It's
Oh, yeah.
absolutely a crazy.
It's gone. Whichever one happened first, which was the explosions. It's gone.
So what I'm hearing is, we all make it through this, we go down the pub, absolute shit-faced, and then we help you rebuild your shop?
Oh, that is delightful in like a fun, small town get-together kind of way. You don't have to help me rebuild my shop. I think I'm going to take the first boat across and head back to America. I've had quite enough of Europe.
That's fair. I'll go home, but I don't know if my parents' place is still standing with the Blitz and everything.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I hope they still are, obviously.
That, or, before then, with all the, stuff about Germany, my dad was probably kind of run out of town because he's German, and then, there's people who don't like my mom because she's Russian, and, the whole, Marxism bullshit.
Right.
This is where I want Gabriella to go ahead and roll the psychology.
Oh, let's see what I figure out. Boop boop. Extreme success.
Oh.
I really glass cannoned into talking to people in a world full of guns and monsters.
Tomorrow I've come to bargain.
Freddy, you all of a sudden are lulled into this moment of your defenses just go down. You feel like I can just talk freely now. I am a person. I can say all the things that need to be said, if not for my own benefit, at least for this person's to hear me.
They kind of sigh and will, kind of sit cross-legged in front of the boxes they've been working on and kind of look at Gabriella. I don't know. I've just been grateful we've been so busy because I'll go think. We fight something I don't have to think.
It helps, certainly.
It does.
The dogs are just having a big time.
They're having a good party over there.
She'll just sigh. There was a person. I never knew what... They died. Not in the best way.
Sorry to hear it. It often feels strange when we survive what others do not.
Turns out I start remembering it apparently was my fault. So it's been grateful that we've been keeping busy. Punching Nazis is cathartic.
Isn't it?
So cathartic.
It does feel good. Oftentimes we are trapped with our decisions. That doesn't mean they have to become everything that we are. Whether it's your fault or not, you're allowed to move forward and find peace and try to forgive yourself.
Maybe, but after this job's done.
Well, I suppose if we die, we don't have to worry about the way our minds are managing their well-being. Now that being said, take the job if you are interested. Granted, I can't speak for... Actually, that's a good point. I think Finley does have a better head on his shoulders than his grandfather does. So, life expectancy is to be higher.
True. So he looks like the type that if he goes into a couple of bars, he's going to say something. Somebody's got to yoink him back and then punch the guy punching him.
Sure. I'll leave you to it. I... Noodly arms.
Shows off the guns.
Impressive.
And we go ahead and switch back to Charlie. Or,
Lizzie.
yeah, Lizzie.
I did think about having her be named Charlie, but I was like, no, her name is Charlene Elizabeth Amesley, so Lizzie.
Okay, so Lizzie. What are you doing?
I think now that we have all of our necessities go bags packed, I'm going back through my dad's study and any other place I knew he or mom would potentially keep information for any journals or notes, anything that could have useful information for what we're going to be doing, or anything that I don't want to leave behind, because I'm probably also going to grab some little personal mementos, because I'm fully prepared for this house to be a pile of ashes when we get back or after we leave, so I don't want to leave anything behind that I might need or want in the future.
You know, sis, it's a real shame that things have gone this way, huh? You turn around and in your dad's chair you see your brother sitting there. His eyes are glassy and you see puffy red with tears.
And where exactly have you been? I'm saying this loud enough so if anyone is nearby, they can hear. Not shouting it, but...
It's okay, I come in peace.
Where have you been? And what's going on?
Trying to correct a few things that have gone wrong, but mostly at Mother's grave.
I feel like going wrong is an understatement. She sits down in the chair on the other side of the desk.
It wasn't supposed to be like this. I swear. I really mean it.
What was it supposed to be like? What were you expecting when you started all of this? How did you get into this in the first place?
Well, in Father's estate, there was admission for one to join the society, and from there it just turned into more and more, and they promised that I could maybe see Father again, or Mother, or whoever I really chose. But
You've killed people, Adam. Can you honestly tell me it's worth it?
it's worth it to get rid of whatever that thing is that was haunting his dreams, was haunting Mother's dreams. The thing that your friend Gabriella sees.
What do you know of it?
I know of it. I know that it is a thing not of this world, and I know that it is a thing way more powerful than God.
Why our family? Why us?
I don't know. As much as I've dug, as much as I thought that I would know by now, I continuously come across the dead ends of... Was it us? Was it our family that had direct communication with whatever this Basidio thing is? Was it just unfortunate circumstances that we had such a run-in with Gwen or Morgan?
How do you know of her? I met her outside of the family, but I'm getting a feeling that she's more closely connected than I realized.
Well, I really don't know. I've worked with her. I've worked with her kind. They are powerful, but searching for more. Kind of like us humans, which I guess they do come from us. But no matter how much digging, no matter how much I tried to find and how much the society showed me, it's all just jumbled. It's like looking at pieces of the newspaper when they're all torn up and you don't know how they fit together, and when you try to paste them together, you have the funnies next to the political and the sports next to the kids and the obituaries next to the the breaking headlines.
What's this mess you've got yourself in now? You got 3 different organizations after you, at least that we know of.
I thought I could make them work, at least inadvertently, together.
Why?
Because they're all searching for it. They're all searching for power, they're all searching for domination over each other. And in a way, that competition drives people. That's what Father saw, at least. That's what he thought. But he was wrong. It's that blind ambition that makes us even worse monsters. Mother was right.
She was right about what?
She was right that this leads to nowhere. I saw the first night that I was inducted into the society. A ghost. I now know. But now just a memory.
I think there's a piece of her still around. Spoke to her through someone, not yesterday. I don't know what our family's gotten into, but we will find a way out of this. Somehow, but I read your journal. I know of some of the things you've done. I'm not sure how far back you can come.
It's okay. What matters now is that we stop the society from their main ambitions. These artifacts. Your Blackwell fellow, he seems like he knows a thing or two. He's talked with every priest in town. But the society, Greenwheel, all of them, they're not just trifling around like they used to. Something's different now. Something's not quite right. None of this was supposed to have devolved as far as it did.
But someone's been making moves, and it's got other people all making moves to fill in whatever gaps are being left behind. Power grab, power play.
That Führer of the Germans is a nutcase, truly.
And yet you've done work for him.
I worked with people who worked for him, yes, but not of any ambition to help them, more to figure out what's going on, fix the thing, and maybe have some power afterwards.
So you've been working with these groups to figure out what their goals are. What do you know of what they're trying to accomplish? The Nazis, Greenwheel, the Twilight Shadow.
Well, the Nazis, they want power over their enemies. It's simple as that. They want the artifacts to put them in a room with their Führer. They want their Führer to just shoot a beam of whatever at England and remove it. They don't really know what they're doing. They just think that they'll either bring Ragnarok or they'll bring their whatever Reich. No. And he just rubs his eyes, kind of just clears himself up. Greenwheel and Twilight Shadow, they're one and the same. At least. Twilight Shadow is a way for them to prune people that don't belong. Gabriella was apparently someone they thought would rise to be a leader. I don't know, I didn't see that in her. She seems kind of, well, stuck in her ways, you know.
She's a lot smarter than most people probably give her credit for.
I suppose.
You should know people are often a lot more than they seem. I mean, you grew up with me.
You're more than you seem?
Yes. You've always had a habit of underestimating people. Sometimes it's because you think you're better.
I am better.
Can you honestly say that was the situation you found yourself in?
He raises his finger, mouth agape, and the finger goes down. Greenwheel's aspirations are, they want to end the war, but they also want to bring back something terrible. Something older than our civilization. I think they want to bring Basidio Ogre out of his imprisonment.
And what could they hope to gain from that?
A reset. A world built in their God's image. The fanatics, they're crazy. They don't make sense to us. We just want to squabble over territory. They want to recreate a world.
Probably don't know exactly what it is they're asking for. Also, quick out of character question: do I remember anything at the mention of Basidio? Because I know, I saw him briefly in the time loop, and I've seen some things, but it keeps Swiss cheesing out of my head.
The name goes in and it comes out. It doesn't stick. You might as well have just dropped in the word old god, because that's what your mind kind of starts alluding to. Eldritch horror. Something there.
Is there anything in here that could be useful? Pointing to the books.
I've tried every book in here. Father was just as lost as I am. That's what brought him to his knees. He too tried to trick Greenwheel, but they saw right through him.
I think it's time our family took a break from that organization.
I agree. And he vanishes.
Pull my hand out of my bag where it's been on my gun this whole time, just in case he tried to pull something. And then I think Lizzie just sits there for a second, gets up, and then goes to find Gabriella.
Gabriella is in the room that she designated as the doctor is in.
You have been listening to Beyond the Crumbling Veil, a Call of Cthulhu 7e actual play podcast by Styx Helix Productions, as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network changing reality one story at a time. If you're enjoying this show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes or Podchaser or wherever you're listening to help other people find this lovely spooky tale. Beyond the Crumbling Veil is DM'd by John Voman of Styx Helix Productions, with Brian as Finley Yeager Lazarus, Ian Ramos as Gabriella Slaughter, Fennec Foxfire as Frederica Newman, and Brianna Jean as Charlene Elizabeth Amesley. The show is also produced by Brianna Jean. If you don't want to wait to find out what happens next, you can get early access to our episodes by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial. You can also find out more information about our other shows at pseudonymsocial.com and support our various productions.